Data is an actuary's gold, but have you ever wondered how they collect all the data that they're going to use and how they actually use it? Well, that's what you're going to learn in today's video. By the way, I'm Bria, Associate of the Society of Actuaries and founder of the Actuary Accelerator community, where we train future actuaries how to become top candidates so they can stand out from the competition and get their very first actuarial job. So now let's get into this video. 3, 2, 1. Go. Actuaries use data to create models, and models are essentially some really complex calculators. These are what really allows actuaries to be able to predict the future. Actuaries need to use data from years and years and years in the past in order to best estimate what is going to happen in the future. For some types of models, actuaries need to create assumptions, and in order to do this, they're going to need to use all that data in order to determine what the assumptions should be. For example, some of the assumptions that an actuary might need to input into their model are maybe mortality rates, which is the percentage of people that die in a year. They'll use assumptions for lapse rates, which are the percentage of people that cancel their insurance policy each year. They'll include assumptions for morbidity rates, which are the percentage of people getting sick in a year, and so many more things. Depending on the type of insurance the actuary is working in, there's going to be different assumptions that need to be input into the model. So basically, an actuary takes tons and tons and tons of data that they've been able to collect over years, bring it all together, and make it into an assumption that they use in their model in order to predict the future. These assumptions might be used in models that are used to calculate reserves, which is how much an insurance company needs to save in order to pay all their claims and expenses and make a profit in the future. They might be used in models that are used to calculate premiums, for example. There are so many uses for these assumptions. Now, in other types of models, like predictive models, for example, actuaries use the data that they've been able to collect to determine which factors are statistically significant. And what that means basically is they're going to create a model that is going to be able to take in a whole bunch of different factors and predict what something might be. So for example, let's say credit score. Now here where I live, we're not allowed to use credit score in order to determine what someone's premium should be for auto insurance or vehicle insurance. So what some actuaries might do is they might create a predictive model that allows them to take in other factors to determine what someone's credit score might be. And we do that because in the past, credit score has been proven to be a really good indicator of how good a driver is. So when we have a really good indicator like that, we really want to be able to use it in order to calculate premiums. But since that's not allowed, we could think about creating a predictive model that would take in other factors that we are allowed to use and use those other factors in order to determine what the credit score would be. That's what a predictive model is, and the only way to create something like that is to use tons and tons and tons of data that has been collected over years and years and years. Predictive models can also be used for other things, like maybe predicting the severity of a storm. It can be used for simplified underwriting. There are all sorts of uses for this, but the backbone behind it all is data. Now, you might be wondering, how do actuaries get all this data? We already know that it's so important for an actuary's work, but how do they actually collect it all? Well, really, there are 3 main sources of data. The first one, and the best one really, is data that is collected by the company itself. So every insurance company, or most insurance companies anyway, have been operating for years and years and years, and they've been able to compile their own data from all the policyholders that they've dealt with in the past. This is really the best source of data because it's the most specific to their insurance company. Each insurance company is going to attract different types of clients. One insurance company might target more higher wealth clients, whereas another insurance company might attract more lower wealth clients. So each of those companies is going to have slightly different experience when they look at their own data. So that's why this type of data, the data that comes from within the company, is the best to use because it is very specific to their own company. But the problem is that a lot of the time, each company isn't able to collect enough data for it to be reliable in order to create assumptions. What they do is combine the assumptions that come from their own data with assumptions that are derived from other data, from other sources. And those other sources might be from other companies. So that's kind of the second source where data might come from. Other companies sometimes decide to share their data with each other so that they can compile enough data in order to have enough for reliable results or credible results. That way, every company that decides to contribute data to the collection, they all get access to the whole collection of everyone's data and they can all use it however they would like. Another common way that actuaries might get data is through different organizations that collect and organize data for actuaries specifically. These are organizations like maybe the Society of Actuaries, the Canadian Institute of Actuaries. They take data from tons of sources worldwide and they organize it in tables that are really easy for actuaries to input and use in their actuarial models. So that's how actuaries use data and where they get it from. So now if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you probably are very interested in the actuarial career and maybe it's something that you are considering. And if that's the case, then you absolutely have to go watch this video next, because it's the quick beginner's guide to becoming an actuary so that you know everything you need to do to be successful in this career. It really is an amazing career and I'd love to help you on that journey. So go watch that video next and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.